It's
And
going to
and
be a long
and
journey.
and what are the opportunities? I mean, in your field.
Oof. Oof. Oof.
I didn't have to say that,
Ben.
right?
Ah, Ben.
Like, don't say it, you know?
Ben. Munna, understand this, right?
Yeah.
The majority of South African people still don't understand what actuaries do.
Sure.
And understand if something has that information of that thing is that it's that rare, that means the people that do it are still special and very special.
Yeah.
And that's why, Munna, that's why you can't, I'm yet to find an actuary that is unemployed.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And people are coining it.
Yeah.
People are getting a lot of money, and there's a lot of opportunities because now, especially in the world of big data, right? Actuaries are your people.
There's a student sitting somewhere. I can even imagine in Whiteville, who wants or hears about actuarial science and they want to do actuarial science, and you know, they are there and be like, can I do this? Will I do this? What do I need to do for me to be able to do this? What kind of character and what kind of motive do I need for me to go through this? What subjects must I choose? What should be my mind state? All of those kind of things. Here's a student asking me all of those things. What do you say?
Dude, hey, that touches me personally, dude, you know? You don't need to be smart. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to be smart because, and I'm saying it touches me emotionally because for the longest time of my life, I tried so hard to become something I'm not. I fought so hard to try and be a nerd, right? And started liking things like comic books. I started reading about Stephen Hawking, the black hole, you know, because of the things you'd watch in Big Bang Theory and all of that. And I started to try so hard to be a nerd, you know, because I was thinking maybe if I try to be these people, maybe then I can adapt to the books themselves. You get what I mean?
Sure.
I am none of that. I am no nerd. Ngintwana sekasi, ngintwana ezincanyelwa impilo yasekasi, ichisa nyama and all of that. If you want to know the life of the hood, come to me. I will show you the life of the hood. If you want a nerd, go find a nerd. I am not one. I am not one. But what I am is somebody that understands priority. To say, I come from a state where I wasn't able to afford, right? And I spent enough time working hard that it paid off in matric and I got good results.
Sure.
Right? And I flunked in university on the actuarial science stuff because I lost the discipline, right? And because of the story I told you, I lost the discipline. So what I'm trying to then say to that kid is know your priorities. Prioritize. I am not saying by knowing your priorities, I'm not saying don't smoke. I'm not saying don't drink. I'm not saying don't have fun. I'm not saying you need to be a nerd or you need to. All I'm saying is work hard when you need to work hard. Play hard when you need to play hard. Right? No one, the honest truth, and I mean this in literal sense, no one knows what they're doing. All of us wake up and hope that whatever plans we have for tomorrow come to fruition and we get the results that we desire. But nobody really knows to say, if I do this for sure, it will work, right? There are small things where you can do that, but the reality of life is chance. At everything we do, there's chance. but there are those that prepare for their chances to be higher so that they get the results they desire, right? So all I'm saying to those kids, Avasekas, don't change who you are. Be the person you are at all costs. Never compromise ubuwena bakho. Doesn't matter where you go. Every room I get into, people can tell ngena ukuthi le ntwana sekasi. Right? Don't change who you are. That's one. Two, have fun. If you want to smoke, you are a smoker, you are not a smoker, it doesn't matter, right? But if something that you do is toxic to you, let it go. If it's not toxic, if you are a weed smoker, you enjoy to smoke every now and then, and it's not affecting your studies, do it. It's the same as drinking. A lot of people that work drink. I can tell you now, most of the people that are professionals are making good money, they drink a lot, right? But they know how to balance that with work. So I'm not changing because I'm speaking to a kid or kokas. I'm saying don't change who you are. Prioritize your things, right? Work hard. Work hard, right? It doesn't matter what you work in. If you want to be a carpenter, now you're saying, okay, sorry, I'm speaking to somebody who's trying to do actuarial science. Work hard in your studies. Ask for help. Ask for help. You understand? Consult at every point in time. Consulting doesn't make you an idiot. Consulting makes your road a bit easier. Consult, man. If you are able to find anybody that makes your road easier, stick to those people. Because often nobody ever asks, you are here because of whom? People only know that you are here because you are an actuary. If I didn't tell you my journey at Tepi, nobody would know it. There's so many people that have helped me to be where I am today, but nobody ever asks about them. People are just interested that I'm an actuarial analyst, that I do what I do and all of that, right? So get the people that make your road easier and stick to them. There's a lot of us that want to help people. There's a lot of us, right? Find those people, make your road easier.
You know, earlier on, when we were still talking before we actually got into the session, we spoke about that you're in a space in your life whereby now it's more about hard work. You know, like previously, perhaps it was not really that hard work, but now you feel like it requires hard work. And right now, you just actually cited about working hard. You know, as what you're saying right now. What's your definition of working hard? Because a lot of students ask these questions to say, you know, when it comes to university space, you know, people will be like, no, you must. There are many terms that are thrown that, you need to work hard. And then students then think that you need to be in the library for when they're in the library, they just feel like they're doing something, like the story that you shared earlier on, but they're not productive, you know. But they feel like they are working so hard. Oh, I see them a lot there. They love this thing of cross-nighting, you know. They just cross-night and it makes someone feel like they're doing some work and they feel like they're working hard. When you come back from cross-nighting, you'll be like, I was cross-nighting, and it just feels so good. It feels like, but was it productive? Was that your peak hour? Are you good at studying over the clock? You know, do you rest and everything like that? So I find this concept of working hard being a concept which needs to be dissected further, because I find that we get lost in it and we think sometimes we're working hard, but we're not working hard. So we are hit with this reality now of working hard is a reality. What is the definition of working hard for you?
For me, it's being disciplined enough to do the stuff I need to do. Not the stuff I want to do, the stuff I need to do, you know, because I'm at a point where I know where I need to go to. I know exactly what I need to do, and I need to be disciplined enough to do all of those things. And that's for me what working hard is. But further than that, I can also go a bit further and say to you, with the personality I have, where I'm a people's person and I'm always around people and I enjoy being around people, working hard as well for me means being forgotten, means being away from all the noise, because being away from the noise then centers me to the things that I then want, need, and have to do. Right? Because now I'm not spending so much time on WhatsApp. I'm not spending so much time on social media, you know, because I want to be forgotten. Because if and by saying I'm forgotten means I'm on my space now and I'm alone and I'm pushing my journey. Right? And that's where I am right now, to say I'm focusing on the goals that I need to do, and everything that comes to that and interrupts that is a distraction, regardless of how good it is or how great it might be. I have a goal and I have one goal and I need to see it through. I need to qualify fully as an actuary, and I'm spending my hours, I'm putting in the discipline, I'm putting in the consistency, and as I said, I'm inside the process, and I'm starving and I'm starving for the process. You know, I'm finding myself having to dig inside myself, even when I'm tired, to see myself go through the process, because at the end of the day, this is my only option, man. This is what's gonna put bread in on the table for my household.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are talking about board exams. I would assume that you're taking the board exams. How are they, man? Like, I've had stories that you know about the board exams, and how many are you supposed to take, and how many?
I'm not sure now with there's two people, right? A UK and SA.
Yeah.
I think if you are writing with UK, you have one less board exam, which is a junior exam. If you're writing with ASA, you have one extra exam, right? Which is they decided to keep life contingency and mathematics of finance separate in South Africa, but in the UK they've combined those. So I think all in all, it's about I'll tell you now. So you have in South Africa, I'm speaking for South Africa. In South Africa, you have 7 junior exams. You have 2 that make you an associate, and then you have 3 that make you fully qualified. So that means 7, 9, 12. So you have 12 exams that are required, but now they've introduced some sort of like practical stuff that you need to do, that you need to go through. So within that practical stuff, there's also tests, there's also exams that happen there. So I don't know how many those count for, but the major exams you need to take, as I said, I think 12, to take 12 exams. Yeah. And it's gonna still be a long journey, man.
Yeah. And what are the opportunities, I mean, in your field?
Oof.
I didn't have to say that,
Ben.
right?
Ben.
Like, don't say it, you know?
Ben. Munna, understand this, right?
Yeah.
The majority of South African people still don't understand what actuaries do.
Sure.
And understand if something has that information of that thing is that it's that rare, that means the people that do it are still special and very special.
Yeah.
And that's why, Munna, that's why you can't, I'm yet to find an actuary that is unemployed.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And people are coining it.
Yeah.
People are getting a lot of money, and there's a lot of opportunities, because now, especially in the world of big data, right? Actuaries are your people.
Yeah.
We are smart. We are smart enough to to understand the dynamics, especially when it comes to risk, and understand every business has risk.
Sure.
Right? And that's where we specialize in. We are
Yeah.
good at that. And what makes us or separates us from the rest of the people is the fact that we are able to add statistics into things, right? And not only statistics, but also to account for mortality.
Oof.
And that's what makes us unique. And that's what gives us the upper hand against other carriers. The fact that we can use stats and mortality to speak about risk.
I'm laughing because
Yeah.
I met this guy who he's also an actuarial, I think, analyst in one of
Yeah.
the insurance company. He deals mainly with
Yeah.
insurance, right? So we're having this argument, and then he says to me that he start like he's talking to me, but I can sense that he's actually cropping out stats, extracting stats from me. Like he's asking me these
Sure.
questions and everything like that. And it's like to me that, I can somehow estimate your mortality rate. And I was like, Chief, you are here trying to tell me like my death rate. Like, come on, Chief. He was even saying to me that, with what the information that I have, I can start to, if I can create, what do they call it? Like an insurance policy, premiums and everything like that. I can, because those information actually goes into how they decide or how they model the prices that people pay on premiums and everything like that. And he was telling me that if I go for insurance, he can actually tell me what I will likely be premium or what kind of premium I'm going to pay based on that. But he was insisting on telling me my mortality rate. Like, who wants to hear about their death?
Nah, nobody does, man. Nobody does. Yeah, so those are called pricing actuaries, right? So I think there's I think various scopes, but the ones that I'm aware of that seem to be dominating is pricing and valuations, right?
Yeah.
So you are either but there's also marketing actuaries, and they keep going on and on. But the bigger ones is either you are doing pricing where you're doing what you are saying, where you are trying to estimate the price of something, the cost of it, right? But in order to get to that cost, you need to model using your mortalities, your inflation, your returns, all of those things. So those are called pricing actuaries. And then there's those that will evaluate that money now. I get now you are paying and now they want to see the value or the portfolio of that thing. So they'll do a valuation of the whole company to see if it's sound, or that department that does insurance. There'll be those that are valuing that those prices that keep coming in, or those premiums that keep coming in and keep coming in. So so there's pricing and there's valuating actuaries. So I belong on the valuation space.
So those, I see a lot of actuarial science students carrying there's this yellow book. I think they call it it's life tables or something.
Yes, life tables. Yeah, I have it.
That's like your Bible, right?
That's a Bible, man. That is a Bible.
What is inside that book?
It's different mortalities, man. So some bit of stats as well. I've seen a bit of stats. But mostly we use it for mortalities because it has tables that were done in the past, right? But when you get to workspaces, they use different tables. So those tables that we use, I think they are purely for academic purposes, so that you get the results that will be the same as everybody else, right? But when you start to enter like my space, I'll make you an example. I used to do, okay, let me not speak on that. Like now, when we're doing the replacement ratio, the stuff that I was telling you about, right?
Sure.
We use a table, but that table is different. We get different tables depending on what, maybe you can even get it from Stats Essay, to speak about the amount, the population of South Africa, and how many men of certain age have died, and all of that. So you take those sort of tables and use them for your results. But obviously, after you've concluded, you need to state that I'm using these tables so that the people can actually get the same results. But sometimes you find that, I think I've seen with my bosses, right? ASA would maybe produce certain things for them, and they would use that so that amongst all the actuaries, because it's not a large community, when they do, because we do a lot of peer reviewing, right? So when you do a lot of peer reviewing, at least we can end up with the same results.
Yeah, sounds very interesting, man. And
very much so, man. Very much so.
Yeah, and I also saw from your profile, your working profile, that at some point you have to read some, you have to collaborate with psychologists, and take the reports, and then from there analyze them from an actuarial background. And because I think at some point, or I'm not sure if you're still dealing with the RAF, that you need to actually now look at the laws and how to bring the actuary in the laws. Like, such beauty, man.
Ah, man, it's awesome. So I didn't want to, I actually remember when I said to you, let me not maybe get into that, was because I didn't want to confuse the listeners, because now it's going to be like, this guy is doing so many things, like, what's you know? But yeah, man, before I did pension funds with the same company, I was actually doing road accident fund calculations, right? And that's the example I wanted to use to say the tables for road accident fund actually are different from the yellow book, right? We're using a different table to calculate those values. But yeah, I did road accident fund, and the beauty of making the words change into numbers and then bring them to words again, so that a lawyer can understand what you're telling. I mean, it's beautiful, man. It's really amazing, because at that point, what we do is you will find a report from an industrial psychologist, right? Literally what they're saying is how much this person is earning, and what they think the person will be earning in the near future. And you have to take all of that and push the money forward, because now the person works up until age 65, right?
Yeah.
So you need to push all of their earnings. Maybe if they got an accident at 2 years old, imagine 2 years old, you then look at the history of the child, look at the mother, look at the father, and everybody, if they were academics like yourself. So say okay, let me make an example for like myself, right? I'm an actuarial analyst. My wife is a qualified CA. We have a kid. Our kid gets into an accident and I claim to road accident fund, right? When we do the calculation, we need to understand that there is a very high chance that my kid will be in academia. So when I do the scenario for my kid, I have to include they get a degree. I have to include a scenario where they get a degree. I have to include a scenario where they are an entrepreneur. I have to include a scenario where they don't get the degree at all. You know what I mean? But they have that ability to have those different ranges. And my kid is privileged from that standpoint, right? But if you look at me without the degrees, maybe while I was still in the township, right? My mom is not educated. Most of my people that I stayed with were not educated. So to actually say that I was going to get a degree is highly unlikely. So you find that sometimes we chop out that degree part to say, maybe Mdu was going to be a policeman or whatnot, depending on how it's substantiated. And then we calculate from there the amount to say, if Mdu's kid is 2 years old, got into the accident, he would have started working around 24 because he would have finished his junior degree, right? Yeah. And then when they start working at 24, how much are they earning? Then we use those tables, we use the amounts, and then we take from 24 to age 65, which is the normal retirement age in South Africa, right? So within that entire period of whatever time between 65 and 24, we take the money forward to 65. And then when it gets to 65, you need to then take all of that money, bring it back to today's value to say what it would be today. And that's what then you need to write a report on as an actuary. So we used to write those reports after we've done the numbers, because we would estimate for before the accident, right? If you didn't get into the accident, your projections, the way I set them to 65 and bring them back. And now since you have the accident, what do we think you're going to be, right? Because now you are disadvantaged, remember. So we're going to take all of that money again, push it forward, bring it back to today's money. And then from there, it's just common mathematics. You just do the difference between the two. That difference is the money that road accident fund needs to pay somebody. So now I need to tell that story in a report after I've done those calculations in such a way that somebody who didn't do actuary would still be able to understand what I'm saying.
You know, now after you've said this, I have so much, well, I will have so much respect for present values, future values, and probability.
Yes, yes. No, China, those things they speak volumes, eh?
Like, I'm just listening to you
Those
and I'm
things
like,
speak volumes, man.
yeah, I'm just listening to you and I'm like, wow, like, yo,
Yeah.
you know?
No, those things speak volumes. That's why I'm saying money, and literally what actuaries are doing is just moving money, understanding the movement of money and the risks that are attached to it, right? Because even in road accident fund, there are things that as humans we cannot account for.
Sure.
So we used to call that contingency. So we'd put a contingency percentage on our calculations so that we are saying we have put this percentage to account for other risks that we cannot foresee, but we know that would exist, right? So yeah, man, you have to love those things.
That's very
We are
beautiful,
moving money, understanding risk. That's all literally that actuaries do.
Yeah, no, man, that's very beautiful. Look, your story, man. I mean, everything that you've said for me, to me, I'm even feeling very like, I don't want to say motivated, but I'm feeling like your journey and the way you've put it and where you are now, man. It's like, I don't know. I remember seeing something that said like God is an artist. Like he's too artistic, man. Like he just like I'm feeling like that. Like I'm just appreciating your story so much and appreciating life so much. And in this, I've also learned a lot. You know, you have no idea, man. And surely even the people that I'm gonna watch this, definitely, man, there's a lot of nudges that they're gonna take, a lot of growth that they're gonna take. Man, we look up to you. We're very inspired by you and your moves.
Thank you.
And just keep on being you, man. It's wonderful.
Thank you, man.
And
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you for allowing to share your story and to share your journey with us here, man. These are the conversations that I die for. Like anything can stop. Like literally, I stop everything, I move everything for these conversations because I know they would go a long way in changing, you know, even if it's just that one person, but I'm quite sure that such conversations need to be had, man. We need to be had.
Man, thank you. Thank you for the platform, man. And yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to tell my story, man. You know, I think it's important for people to hear my story because my story is not a straightforward story, you know, where a kid was just studying and things were happening. I've been literally moving in circles and my life keeps rolling. And I've just learned to just be a spectator of it when I can, and in platforms like these, where I just get to speak the life that I've lived and continue to live. So yeah, I think maybe in parting ways, man, Ben, I do need to say, man, I'm very passionate about helping kids. That's why FBA, Faculty of Best Advisory, is around, and that's where we literally get to speak to young people that come from places like both you and I come from, and we try to assist. So if people do have the chance, they should check out Faculty of Best Advisory. And that's where we try to help high school kids, students, and all of that. And most importantly, man, I think to dintwana tsako makasi, dintwana tsako magaeng, never compromise who you are, never change who you are to fit into the world, but always try to adapt and by adapting, I mean a better version of you that is done in your own terms, you know. We have so much greatness in us, and we just need to believe that we do have the greatness, and the way God created us is enough, and it's okay. So we just get better.
Man, there is no better outro than this. Thank you, man. I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you
I
so
appreciate
much,
you so much, man.
No stress, man. Get loud, sharp.
Sure, sure.